Hello and welcome, people of the internet, to another episode of Competitive Battling Tutorials. If you're here, you found your way to my YouTube channel, and if you're new, please do hit that like and subscribe button to see more of my content. So today on the Competitive Battling Tutorials, I'm talking to you about weather. No, I'm not talking about the weather that you look outside your window and go, oh, it's sunny, or oh, it's raining. No, I'm talking about weather in Pokemon. So you might be thinking, well, yeah, okay, weather changes, and if I go over here, I've checked already, and today it is sandy over here. Then if I go to another area, it could be raining, or sunny, or hailing. Well, those don't take part in competitive battling where you're playing against other players. No, they just take part in wild encounters. But with the right team, you can actually manipulate the weather in a battle against another player. And that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. These are teams called weather teams. So if I'm here, you can see that it's hailing. And now let's have a look at a few example teams, shall we? So I actually prepared a couple of example teams using Pokemon which I have raised up already. So here we have an example of a rain team. And the idea of this team is I want to get Rain Dance up and take advantage of abilities like Swift Swim. And also Pokemon like this, which could, instead of Thunder, running Thunder. Now, I didn't have a Manectric with Thunder, but that's where these teams are at their best. Now, they do come with drawbacks, and there are many of them. For example, if I'm running a rain team, I could run up against an electric type. Now, that's where you have Pokemon with lightning rods. So, why am I talking to you about this? Well, part of competitive battling is you are going to come up against these types of teams. Barrascuda and let's say Pelipper. Pelipper is one of the best rain setters in the game. Those in combination can be a very frightening force. And what I'm here to teach you guys is how you guys can take advantage of this and use that force on your side of the team. So let's see, what are we looking to do? Well, we're looking to take full advantage of what rain does. So maybe we should actually look at what does rain do. So I'm going to bring Ludicolo up here because we're talking about rain to start with. We are, as you can see on the layout, I do have Torkoal, Tyranitar, Ludicolo, and Alolan Ninetales. These are examples of Pokemon that can set up the weather. Ludicolo can't do it with the Drizzle ability, but it can do it with Rain Dance. Now that's the thing, you have different options on how you can set up your rain. You could use Ludicolo, or in this case I've also got Sableye here for Rain Dance. You can also use things like Pelipper and the Palpitoad? No, not Palpitoad. Yeah, anyway, you can use Politoed, that's the one. You can use Pokemon like Politoed and Pelipper to also set up rain. Now, we'll talk about those in a little bit, but first we're going to talk about why you want the rain. So what does rain do? Rain boosts the power of your water type attacks and decreases the power of fire type attacks. But that's not all they do. They also trigger other abilities, such as Swift Swim. That's also a very real thing that you can do, is you can use Swift Swim. Now, what does Swift Swim do? Well, let's pull up my Barrascuda here and talk about it. So, Swift Swim boosts the Pokemon's speed in rain. You've also got things like Hydration, which can cure your burns. You've got other things that also take effect in rain. But let's first talk about the main ability you're likely to take advantage of, being Swift Swim. So, this Pokemon has a beastly stat of 408 at level 100 in speed. And that actually will go up to, I believe it is 816. So, why do we need so much speed? Well, for those turns that rain is up, you can outspeed almost every Pokemon in the game. Now, there are drawbacks to this. Rain is both sides of the field. So you're also going to set up your opponent's swift swims. Well, Alice, that is a bad thing. Why would I want to boost my opponent's speed? Because you are built to take advantage of it better. That's what the point of a rain team is. You're not just going to come up against a random person running a swift swim Pokemon on a random team without weather backup most of the time. Sometimes you will. There are niche cases where people will run swift swim outside of a rain team, but those are niche cases. We're talking about the most likely cases here, and that's what rain is. You're looking to boost the power of your water type attacks, such as Aqua Jet and Liquidation, while at the same time boosting your speed with Swift Swim. You're looking to use Thunder. I mean, yeah, there's no Thunder on this, but you're looking to use Thunder. And why do I keep going back to Thunder? Now that's another part of Rain. Thunder doesn't miss. You can take advantage of Thunder's low accuracy by removing that low accuracy. So there are other bonuses. And look at Sizzle here. Quad weak to fire. Now why is Sizzle on this team? Because of the rain. You can just halve the damage that Sizzle and, in this case, Corviknight are both taking from fire type attacks by basically reducing it. Corviknight will not be weak because while it's super effective, it's reducing damage back to a normal effective move. Sizzle will only be ×2 weak. Then you've got Ludicolo, which is amazing. You've got Weather Ball here. Now that's another thing which is going to come up quite a bit in this video. Weather Ball. So let's just get this out of the way right now. Weather Ball is an attack that varies in power and type depending on the weather. Now what this basically means is it is at a higher power because it's rain. Then rain is going to boost that a further amount, increasing it again. And then again, because it is changing to a water type attack, it is not only getting a boost from the rain, but also same type attack bonus. This Weather Ball is hitting harder than a Hydro Pump. This, well, not a Hydro Pump in rain, but it's hitting harder than a Hydro Pump more consistently. So what else does rain do? Well, it's not on this team, but there's also Hurricane. Hurricane is another really strong attack with a low accuracy that doesn't miss in rain. So why do I bring that up when it's not on this team? Pelipper again. One of the biggest reasons why Pelipper is one of the best weather setters for rain is it gets access to Hurricane with Stab. I don't have a Pelipper bred up to show you guys, but that's because I'm not a primary weather player, so I don't have all those weather setters raised up. But I wanted to discuss it with you guys because it is a very real thing that you will come across. Rain, Sun, and Sand are all very strong teams right now in the OU metagame. And then if you look over at the doubles metagame, Rain, Sun, and Sand are strong there as well. So, I've mentioned Rain, Sun, and Sand, but I haven't shown you Sun and Sand. So I just want to finish going over this team and how I've built it. Because this is an example team. It's not the exact team you're going to see, but it shows off what you're trying to do. So what you're trying to do here is you're weak to electric. You're running a primarily water-based team. That's just going to happen. If you're running a weather team, you're going to primarily try to focus on having more Pokemon of that type to get a bigger advantage out of your rain. Now, there are items that I will go over later on in the video that will help you out with the rain, but at the moment, I just want to discuss how you would build a team. So, on a rain team or with any weather team, you'd want to have more than one weather setter. You're not going to guarantee that a single Pokemon is going to live the entire battle. So, that's just not realistic. So, what have I got here? I've got Sableye, which has Prankster and Mental Herb. Now, this is going to guarantee that it's going to get up a Rain Dance. And it's also able to support in other ways. But the primary thing for Smaug here, or the Sableye, is you want to get up that Rain Dance. And same with Ludicolo. So Ludicolo does it in a different way. Ludicolo's an offensive Pokemon with defensive investment. Using its natural bulk on the special side means this Pokemon can consistently get up a Rain Dance despite getting attacked. So the first turn you're going to get the Rain Dance, then you're going to double your speed and outspeed everything to hit them with Giga Drains, Weather Balls, Ice Beams. So that means you've got your offensive Rain Setter and your defensive Rain Setter. Now, what you are going to do then is you want to have something that can absorb an electric type attack. Because you're going to take these electric type attacks. So that's where Magnetric comes in. It comes in with a Lightning Rod. This is an immunity to electric. You can achieve the same thing with a ground type, but on a rain team, when you're boosting your opponent's water type attacks, you want it to be an electric type with Lightning Rod, or Pokemon with Lightning Rod, because you want to be able to consistently swap in. And the reason I'm saying electric type is you're going to be afraid of opposing water types that you're boosting the power of their attacks. So you go into an electric type and you can start hitting your opponent's water types with your own electric moves to try to stop them. Now, yes, Flamethrower is going to be weakened in rain, but that's just, you want to have fire type attacks to cover more types, because you're not always going to have rain up. Sometimes you don't want to get rain up. Sometimes your rain is going to be a downfall for you. Let's say you're up against a lot of steel types, or a lot of Pokemon weak to fire. So let's go further on then. Why have we got steel types? Because we're weakening fire type attacks. This gives Scizor and Corviknight more turns to get set up or attack with. And again, Lancelot, the Corviknight, why do we have that defog? Defog is there because you want to have some way of removing hazards in 1v1. This is more of a 1v1 team. I will cover doubles teams later on. The strategy does differ slightly for doubles teams. So let's move on. Let's move on to fire, because we're gonna talk more about how to take advantage of the different weathers later on. I just want to cover some example teams so you can get a feel for what a weather team is. This is only the first installation of weather teams. Weather teams are a huge strategy to cover. I can't cover it all in one video, so it's probably going to be spread amongst 2 or 3 videos. So what is a sun team? Well, a sun team is a team looking to get up the sun weather, if you hadn't worked that one out, with the abilities Drought. Drizzle is the ability that sets up rain. Drought is the ability that sets up sun. So what are we looking at here? You might be thinking, sun? Why is there water? Why is there grass? So sun boosts your fire type attacks and reduces water type attacks in a similar way to rain, but in a flipped way. So think rain, but opposite. So again, you might be wondering, why water? Why grass? If you're boosting fire type attacks, isn't grass a bad idea? No. Grass is actually one of the best typings to take advantage of sun. So sun does have a similar ability to rain, where you have a swift swim, but for sun. Its ability Chlorophyll. There's also Leaf Guard, which protects from status conditions. Solar Power, which boosts your fire type attacks. Solar Power, which boosts your special attack stat, but lowers your HP each turn. So you're losing HP each turn. Can't talk today. Wow. So you've also got other abilities. Dry Skin is one that lowers your HP each turn if it's sunny, but boosts your HP each turn if it's raining. So there are some crossover effects. We'll discuss those in a future video, though. You might be wondering, Volt Absorb again? Well, that's to protect your water and flying types if you're running Charizard. That was a choice based on the team, as opposed to based on everything else. Levitate here is actually one of the important abilities. So if you're running a team that is primarily fire types, or in this case, in some cases, grass types, you want to have Levitate, because you are weak to ground if you're running poison types like Vileplume and Venusaur, which are some of the best Chlorophyll users. You've also got Pokemon like Charizard, which again, Weather Ball, coming up again. This is more of a choice spec set, my own personal set. But basically, you can take advantage of solar power with Charizard's beastly special attack stat. And then there's a Solar Beam here. Now, you might be wondering, Solar Beam? That's a bit of a strange one. Well, Solar Beam takes 2 turns to charge normally. But if it's sunny, it actually attacks straight away. So you get to fire that Solar Beam off first turn in sun. That's one of the bonuses to running a sun team. That plus all your 5-type attacks being boosted. Why do we have water types? Well, water absorb is good because if you can't get sun up, or if you're up against a rain team, you're going to be very weak to their water type attacks. So you're looking to swap in your water absorb to absorb a water type attack in a similar way to Manectric does with Lightning Rod, or Volt Absorb on a Dragozolt. And then there's other things. So you've got Synthesis. Where is Synthesis? I don't have one on either of these. You've got Synthesis, which boosts more HP, recovers more HP in a sunny, in sun. So you got things like that. Now then, let's cover sand. I don't actually have enough Pokemon to make a mock-up of a Hail team. I do apologize for that. But I can briefly talk to you about that in a second. So, what are we looking to do in sand? Sand is different. It does not boost your damage from your types of moves. However, what it does do is it boosts your special defense on rock types. So, like Tyranitar here. And it's set up primarily by Sandstream, but with the move Sandstorm as well. Sun is set up by Sunny Day as a move. Hail is literally just hail. So what are we doing here? We got Sand Rush, which actually boosts your speed stat in Sandstorm. You've also got Sand Force, which boosts your Steel and Rock and I think Ground type moves in a Sandstorm. And then we've got, so again, Sand Rush here. And what are we doing on this team? Well, this team basically, you've got, again, Water Absorb. You're, again, weak to water type attack. So you want to have something like that. You've also got Duraludon here, which is quad resisting water. We are very concerned about water on these teams. And then you've got Whimsicott, which allows you to sort of like try to just support your team. Whimsicott is one of my own personal choices for the team. I figured it would help out. So you've got 3 different types that are helped with Sandstorm. It deals damage over a period of time, being while it's active, to Pokemon that are not Rock, Ground, or Steel types. And further on, Sand Rush and Sand Force both immunify you to the Sandstorm damage as well. So you're looking to take advantage of these abilities again, dish out fast attacks, dish out hard attacks. That's pretty much what a weather team is. It's a consistent team that uses the Pokemon's own stats, high stat totals, to actually allow you to do a lot more damage thanks to the weather, but still deal the damage without the weather. So the team tends to try to work together in a very consistent way. There are ways you can make it better, but a very common thing which you might all be shouting at me right now is, why do I want to bring weather when my opponent can just bring a different weather to turn mine off? This is a very real concern. Something which you very well might be concerned about. And I know personally from experience that weather wars are a very real thing that are very dangerous to you. So I can understand why you're concerned about these things. And that's one thing which I want to talk to you about in this video. So I covered it earlier, and you might have noticed I've only got Torkoal here. I've only got Tyranitar here. But I've got Ludicolo and Smaug, which can both set up Rain on this team. So that's one reason why I said earlier it is very important. You want to have more than one Pokemon. If you're very full on your weather teams, you want to have more than one Pokemon that can set up the weather. Because you're going to have times where Pokemon are going to come in, turn off your weather, say you're in a rain team, you've got your rain up, someone's going to swap in a Torkoal. That turns off all your abilities. Yes, that's where you come in with your Sableyes, your Pelipper's. You'd quite often, on a rain team, you wouldn't need more than one because you'd have U-turn on a Pelipper. And you can run like a Choice Scarf set. So then you send Pelipper out, gets up the rain, you U-turn, go back into something else, and your Pelipper's safe and sound. Again, why you want to have default. Pelipper's weak to Staff Rocks. It's not going to last forever. So you have default to help you turn off Staff Rocks. So it's all about how does your team help each other. And then there's your Ninetales. So I've alluded to this earlier. There's a Ninetales on the screen. You can see that I am looking to talk about it. Basically, Ninetales does something interesting. It sets up Aurora Veil. This allows you to freely switch in by reducing massively the amount of damage you're taking from attacks. It's one thing that makes Hail quite unique. You have Slush Rush, and there is, I believe, one that boosts damage, but the main one that comes to mind is Slush Rush. Works like Swift Swim, but for Hail. So as you can see, each of the weather types has a speed boosting ability. That's one of the primary things that you'd see on a weather team. But Ninetales allows you to come in, set up the Hail, and you don't have to rely on another Pokemon to actually set up what you're doing with that Hail. So let's get into it. What happens if I'm playing against a weather team? So let's say I'm playing Sun, my opponent's playing Rain. Now that's two of the easiest ones to come up with here. My opponent's saying, I'm playing Sun, I send out a Torkoal as my lead. My opponent's playing Rain, they send out a Pelipper as their lead. Now what's going to happen here? Both Pokemon are going to set up their weather. So there's a very interesting thing that happens, and it happens in a specific order of, let's say, priority. What's going to happen here is, I'm slower than the Pelipper. The Pelipper's going to come out, it's fast, it's going to set up its rain. Torkoal's slow, it's going to set up its Sun afterwards. So if both Pokemon are leading, the Sun's going to go up first. That's one advantage that you have playing Sun over most other types of setters. A lot of these setters are very fast. You've got your Pelipper, you've got your Politoed, you've got your Ninetales, you've got Ninetales for Sun as well. You've got all these fast weather setters. Sometimes it's better to just go slow. Take it easy and be calm. So I said earlier we're going to discuss some items. Now let's go over to these items. What are they talking about? So these items will boost how long the weather will stay up for. So we've got, here they are. Icy Rock, Smooth Rock, Heat Rock, Damp Rock. If they are held by the Pokemon that is setting up the weather, that weather will last for longer. The same way as Light Clay boosts how long your Reflects, Light Screens, and Aurora Veil stay up. These items do the exact same thing, but for weather. So sometimes you need to buy yourself a lot of time to use that weather before your next switch in. And that's a very real concern. So why do we do it? It basically protects the setter by allowing it to stay in your party, not in the field. Okay, so now we've discussed that. We've discussed what a singles team would look like. What is a doubles team gonna look like? So in a doubles team, I don't have any set up right now, but you would definitely be running Pokemon with the abilities. You're not gonna want to run Rain Dance or any of the actual moves. For one very real reason, I mean, sometimes you'd run Rain Dance, say Ludicolo, but for one very real reason. You've got two Pokemon attacking you. if you have to take an entire turn to activate Rain Dance, you need to make sure that the Pokemon that's using it is either got Prankster or can take the hits. Because otherwise, you're going to set up the Rain Dance and you're just going to die. Your opponent's going to go, well, you're the Rain Dance setter. I'm going to attack you with both of these Pokemon. Now you want to use Protect, but then you're not getting up the Rain Dance. So if you're going to use Rain Dance on a doubles team, you want to make sure that that Pokemon is going to live either both of those attacks or will outspeed them and is not looking to do anything else on your team at all. Or you just have a very, very good cleric. Chansey. I've been using Chansey a lot in doubles lately, and it is a beast. So, what are the things that are new to weather teams that this game has introduced? So, for this matter, I'm going to bring up Lapras. While in Smogon rules you cannot Dynamax, in VGC you can. So weather teams in VGC are looking a lot different to the weather teams in Smogon. And I'm not an expert on VGC. If you want to learn more about VGC teams, please check out my Discord channel. There will be a link in the description. And go to the team building advice. I have got people in my Discord that are much more knowledgeable about VGC than I am. That's purely because I've been out of the competitive scene, running this channel, teaching the new battlers for a good few years, and Sword and Shield has come along and shaken up the meta a lot. I am getting back into it. As I get more experience, I will bring my travelings to you guys to talk about what I've learned about how it's changed over the years, comparing it to VGCs of Gen 5, 6, and 7. But for right now, I'm going to use my knowledge of what I have played already in VGC to tell you guys how it's differed. Lapras's G-Max can set up the rain thanks to Sparkling Ardea. Now, each of the typings, fire, water, rock, and ice, will set up the weather of that choosing if it is not replaced by another move. So Lapras's G-Max here, because it is a G-Max Lapras as opposed to a Dynamax Lapras, the Icy Wind will actually set up an Aurora Veil as opposed to a Hail. That is one other thing, guys. Please be aware, if you are going to use Aurora Veil on a team, you will need to have Hail up first in order for Aurora Veil to land. Also, I forgot to mention it earlier, but in Hail, Blizzard does not miss. That is one of the interesting things about Hail. But anyway, so that's one of the biggest ways that weather has changed in this generation. It hasn't really changed much more than that, other than how many Pokemon can take advantage of it and how few setters there are. But the biggest thing that has changed is if you're playing in a Dynamax legal format, be aware that your weather may change at any moment, and also be aware that your opponent may manipulate the weather to throw you off your game plan. So you will want to have a Pokemon that can set up the weather. Now, that is another reason why I'm running Aqua Jet, Liquidation, I'm running a physical water type, and why I do normally have a Pokemon with Scald if I'm looking to play this team in VGC. That's because Weather Ball, as much as it does change its typing, when you Dynamax, will stay normal. So you will be using a normal type Dynamax move as opposed to a water type in Rain. So that is one of the biggest things that has changed in weather. Obviously, like I said, I cannot cover everything in this one video. There will be more installations of weather and strategies involving them. But this is a basic rundown. I just wanted to cover what it is, how it affects the game, and how it affects your team building. Now, team building is something that I plan on touching on in a very soon upcoming video. Haven't decided if I'm doing it next week or the week after. But for right now, please bear in mind that this is how the weather affects the game, and these are just the basics. If you would like to know any more specifics, feel free to hit me up in the team building advice section on my Discord server. I can run you down a bit more of what weather is and how it affects the game. But anyway, guys, that is going to be everything for this video. Until next time, please like, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And I hope this video has been of help to you guys. So I will talk to you again soon. Take care and be kind.